All right, Super Chief Super Duty. We're headed on the road again. As the most dangerous app on one's phone is the AUCTIONtime app, because it seems that we cannot avoid accumulating rusty treasures. So that's what we're gonna do right after this. All right, welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Rusty Oliver Man. And we need to run over to Dad's and grab my trailer because it's still over there from, I had those square bales on it and my sister wanted to buy them, so I pulled it over there. But we need it because now we gotta go get some treasure. So what it amounts to is, I was looking on Facebook the other day and somebody posted saying they were looking to buy a plow. And I thought, okay, and I was just reading the comments. And one of my pals, who's an auctioneer, had a post and he said, I've got one on AUCTIONtime right now. Well, I didn't even know that he sold stuff on AUCTIONtime. So I looked up his, account or whatever, and he had 4 or 5 things on there. And when I saw some of them, I thought, hey, I'll bid on that and help him out. I didn't necessarily need the things, like most of the stuff I buy, probably don't need it. But it was going cheap enough that I just couldn't pass it up. So I bid on everything he had to try to help him out. And I ended up winning 3 things, I believe. So we're gonna go acquire on those, at least 2 of them with the trailer, and the 3rd one we'll probably have to go back and pull with the pickup because it'll be too hard to load. So I'll bring you back whenever something cool happens. Well, Dad had the trailer hooked to his pickup, so I just took his pickup. So, because he said he wanted to borrow the trailer again in a few days. And I said, well, then I'll just borrow your truck right now. So we're out here headed to where this is. I'm not exactly sure if it's at this guy's house or his dad's place where he's got the stuff. So I'm just gonna get out there close and then I'll message him and then figure out what we're doing here. But like I said, it's gonna take 2 trips. 1 trip with stuff on the trailer and the other trip pulling it home with the pickup. So we'll make it happen. Oh, look at all this stuff. I don't exactly know what I got myself into here, but I bought several of these pieces. I bought this tedder because, hey, a tedder for not much money. It's very similar to the one that I have, so I'm wondering if I could use the wings off of mine and make that happen, or just get rid of those brackets and go 2 basket style. And then I bought this Baler, which has got issues, broken needles, and it's a wire tie baler. And that's mainly why I bought it, because I'd like to try to figure out how that works, It's obviously been very well taken care of, so. But I want to learn how those wire twisters work, so we're gonna figure that out if we can. I can probably weld those needles together if they hold up, I don't know. They're cast, so several days with some nickel rods will probably be my friend, and then figure out why it's out of time. Ah, man. Where did we get this collection of fine stuff at? Man. Well, I got 1 load home and unloaded. Switched trucks. Now I'm gonna go back and get that baler, which is probably not very good judgment because it's getting to be evening time and hopefully we don't run out of daylight, but it's raining kind of halfway, so I'd rather, do this project when I can't do anything else outside, so I'm gonna go for it. We'll find out what happens. I'm sure if something terrible happens, I'll bring you back and tell you about it. So We'll find out.
We will return after these messages.
We've all heard of the well-known Civil War documentary series by legendary filmmaker Ben Kearns. But up until now, no one has told what is arguably the most important Civil War story of all time. That is, until now. After much petitioning and write-in letters and such, Ben has finally agreed to tell the story that defined the Civil War, the Battle of Phardtpounder Hill. Our story starts here with this photo, the only photo known of the original 4 Phardtpounder family sons, with their great-great-granddaddy Pappy Van Phardtpounder. He warned the boys that the northern states would never be satisfied with just controlling rights, but what they were really after was the Phardtpounder's secret family chicken recipe. Upon hearing this call to arms, Phardtpounders came from all over the southern states and banded together to preserve what was their birthright, the secret family chicken recipe. They knew that the fighting would be fierce and the battles long, but they had to do whatever it took to preserve what was rightfully theirs. And although the Phardtpounders fought many and various battles throughout the entirety of the Civil War, perhaps the most well-known and important was the Battle of Phardtpounder Hill, where a small group of Phardtpounders managed to hold off the entire Union Army with nothing more than a sword, 2 muskets, and a bucket of chicken. And although many of the Phardtpounders viewed this as a turning point in the war, eventually the greater increasing number of the Union Army was simply too much for the Phardtpounder clan. Eventually they were forced to surrender, along with the rest of the Confederate states, under one condition, that the secret Phardtpounder family recipe would never fall into the wrong hands. You can find out more about the Battle of Phardtpounder Hill by watching the 17 9-hour episodes available for streaming now at www.phardtpoundertv.com. This service is of course brought to you by Colonel Phardtpounder's Fried Chicken, where you can fill your entire family for only $20. It is sure to leave you satisfied and smiling. That's the Phardtpounder guarantee. Phardtpound responsibly. Well, somehow it's still tracking along back there. I don't know how that's possible, but I guess if it comes loose here, maybe it'll flip itself into the river and I don't have to worry about it anymore. But I'd say we're about halfway home at this point, so we got to pull it through a neighborhood and then we have to cross the busy highway and then we'll be back on the country roads toward home. So we'll see if we make it. Okay, so made it back. Luckily there was not any real trouble. And you might be asking yourself, like my dad did many times of my life, what would make you do this? Well, sometimes I wonder the same thing. I bought this baler for one reason, I guess 2 reasons. Number one, it went super duper cheap, but that's understandable because both needles are broke off. And it is a wire tie baler. And I have no idea how a wire tie baler works. I have the basic idea. I mean, some of the stuff's the same. Your needles go up, what have you. But I have never ever worked on a wire tie baler. And what better way to learn than to work on one that is totally trashed, you know? So if I can figure out how to make this go again, I should understand how wire tie balers work. And I mean, they're not anything like the other ones you see with the knotter. This deal here, somehow it holds the wire, I know that much, and then it also shears it off at a certain point, and then it's got a wire twister under there that I want to watch it go. But we got to fix the needles first. That's going to be step one. Buddy is very curious. There must be something living in it. The interesting thing about this baler is that I know who it came from now. I did not know that when I bought it. But what the guy that owned it actually tried to get me to work on it when it messed up. And I said, I know nothing about wire tie balers, so count me out on that, you know. Well, now I own it, so if I can get it to work, it'll probably be for sale again. I mean, he had 2 almost brand new boxes of wire, and now the box is long gone. So that's sad, you know, because that's expensive. But hopefully I can pull out enough that we can try it without me having to buy new wire, because that's super duper expensive. Everything on the wire tie baler is super expensive, but we'll make a separate video just dealing with this and looking it over. And you know, before we do anything, we're gonna have to clean it up because it's full of trash, and that ain't gonna work. It does have almost new tires on it though, so that is a bonus, you know. And the longest thing is gonna be probably right away. I'll just take those needles off and start welding on them, because cast iron, it's gonna take many days so you don't get them too hot. And you know, nickel rods probably, and I might be able to save them. I mean, the pressure might be too much on them, it might break them right away, but it's worth a try because those are $300 a piece, and I'm not that committed to this for that. I could take it to the scrapyard and make more than what I paid. So that's where we are on this. This, I don't know either. I mean, I have a 4-basket tedder that I've never done anything with. It's missing a bunch of these, and I thought, you know, I'd get me a better tedder at some point. I just never have really seen the benefit of tedding. It takes me, what, 2 or 3 days now the way it is. The only time I think I'd really like one is if it accidentally got rained on in a hurry, then the tedder would be the thing. But this one was obviously a 4-basket as well at some point in its life, and then the wings messed up, so they got rid of them. I'm gonna get rid of the rest of that bracketry there so that it's just not looking like crap like that. Somebody already started that way on this. But if I take these out of here, it's basically gonna just be a 2-basket tedder. And in the video of the auction, it was running super smooth, so I think it'll work. And the nice thing about that is it can work behind any tractor, you know, a 60, steel wheel 60 even, you know. It's something, you don't have to have 3-point arms or nothing. So that I think was a good buy. I gave $250 for that, and I think that's worth it all day long. I mean, for what it is. As I said, when I saw my buddy was doing this, I just bid on every item to try to help him out. And I ended up winning this boom pole, which I do not need, so it will probably be for sale. I already have one of these, so this is not necessary. So I will probably have that listed for sale, but hey, I gave almost nothing for it, I think, so I think there's money to be made. But yeah, I definitely did not intend on going this week to pick up anything, but here we are. That trash has got to come out of there because that's not doing it any favors. Like I said, we'll make a video just on this. I don't want to get sidetracked and start digging into it yet. We'll do that when I'm not getting out here rained on. But we got to figure out why it jumped time, because that'll do it every time. It'll do it on twine tie balers too. Bust your needles off. So, and then we got to sort this out. I got a book coming. I ordered a book to try to learn about. Let's learn about wire twisters, because I don't understand that a lick. And there's not very many good videos on the internet that focus in on this to show you how it works slow motion like. So we're gonna just have to learn together, but that's fine. That's the best way to learn about stuff, is to just start doing it. Well, that wasn't very smart, was it? We should probably close that lid and let those things sleep, because I am not wanting to upset them. Sure. Well, that's a good time to probably just leave this video alone before we, you know, have a problem. I'll probably take one of those needles and rake that nest off of there and then close the lid and walk away. So we will tackle this at some point in the future. All right, it's the next day. Let's try this again. See, knock that out of there. That finished them off. But it looks like we got some stuff in the toolbox. Well, I guess there's another nest of those suckers in there. Let's just slide that there. Are they up under there, or are they inside of this can? Well, they're not really inside that can. How did they do that? I did not see. Whatever. I guess if I get stung, I get stung. Chinesium pliers, sure. That's the bell of the ball right there. Half inch down here. Vice grip brand vice grips. What else is in there? Chinesium vice grips, missing the screw. Some rusty sure bolts. Another, oh, that's an SK USA. Sure bolts. Screwdriver. An end of wire that messed up. So there's some stuff. Probably take this and soak it and get that cleaned up, you know. I'm scared to look in here. I don't know what we'll find. Or not. Guess I'm not smart enough to figure out how to open that. Whatever. We'll sort that out later. Because I think it's probably worthy of its own video when we start messing with it. But, strangely enough, New Holland Baler, the Oliver dealer around here eventually became a New Holland dealer. They also sold Case first for a while, and then it became Ford and New Holland. And that's how we ended up with New Holland hay tools and stuff. And then later on they went out, and you know, when that went out, it totally went out. There was nothing left, and now it's just a parking lot. But the other day when I went and checked my mail, somebody sent me a book. And if I can find the little note here, I'll read it. Yes, it says, "Hi Ross, I thought you might enjoy this book about the history of the New Holland Baler." Now remember, this is interesting because he sent it before I got this baler. So, "Your videos of the Oliver baler reminded me of this book. One interesting thing was the inventor loved Oliver tractors also." From viewer Jamie. So, that's pretty cool. I have been wanting to sit down and read this, so I'm going to have to just start at night and do it. Because I don't really know the history of New Holland. I thought it was something to do with an Amishman who came up with that first one. And I may not be right at all. So, I'll read up on that and then I'll know, you know. But, kind of neat. I mean, New Holland hay tools were the thing for a long time in a lot of places. And, yeah, I mean, what can I say? Like I said, we had it all. I mean, Dad had that pickup rake, or that 256 rake. He bought that brand new. And then later on, our second thing was that 851 round baler that he's got. And then I bought 855 round baler. Well, I guess he bought a 350, is it a 355 feed grinder that he's got? And then of course I bought the 855 baler, and I've got that 352 grinder mixer, and now this baler and a tedder. So yeah, there was lots of New Holland stuff around. I really don't know where my dealer is now closest. There was one not too far away, but they went out too. So here lately I've been buying stuff off the internet when I need it, and that works out just as well, you know, as long as it's not something you have to have today. So I suppose the IH dealer can probably get me whatever I want if I have the part numbers, because Case IH is Case New Holland, so sure. But at any rate, we will sort this out. Like I said, I've looked all over the internet. There's just no good resource on wire twisters, but I bought a book. It should be here anytime. The operator's book should show a good explanation of how the wire twister works, like the like they do for the twine tie balers, you know. And then from there we'll just see what we got to have. I know I ordered also a specific service manual just on the wire twister part that they had, so hopefully it will all make sense. Like I said, I got a basic idea of how it works. I know that little flipper deal goes back and forth, catches the wire and holds it and then shears it off somehow. And then I know those little silver doodads do the twisting, but what I'm not sure about is how, I just don't understand how we don't end up with a whole bunch of wire ends wrapped up on something up there. But I guess technically it's twisting the wire lower than where it's shearing the wire. But then I still don't understand how it holds wire for the next bale. That's stuff we all got to learn. So, you know, wire tie was around before twine tie, I suppose, but back in those days it was all done by hand. I can also see that that baler's had some sin to it there, so that may be not helping either, you know. That might be part of our issue, but like I said, this is going to deserve its own video to sort that out, so we'll see how she goes. Do you suffer from low intelligence and are easily entertained? Well, then hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment, and that way we can keep making entertainment that your feeble minds can understand. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.